Maggie Morash, Brianne Reed, Tori Prager, Trish DiPaolo, and Madison Tiernan. They're led by 14th-year head coach Glenn Crooks. For Cincinnati, the 6th seed, they're led by first-year head coach Neil Stafford. Natalie Smith is the goalie with Madison Melnick, Kayla Utley, Jay Atkinson, Megan Cravener, Katie Greer, Taylor Nelson, Christy Howard, the star freshman forward Katie Cooperis, Bailey Wilson, and Emily Ellsbrock. Kyle, Bruno Mazzo is the official. Your keys to the game today.
Well, I think it's important today. We have to watch the midfield. The battle in there is going to be a key because Cincinnati's got some good forwards in Katie Cooperis and Emily Ellsbrock, and they got it. And Rutgers has got to try and deny the service into them. Scarlet Knights have got a freshman in there in Allie Ryan today, who has not started this year. It's a big occasion for her, so we'll see how she copes being in that midfield. She could also slide up top. Madison Tiernan could drop back into the midfield as well. Secondly, I think you got to watch set pieces if you're Rutgers today. Hey, the Bearcats extremely dangerous when you give away free kicks in bad areas, and it's that second ball, as we've seen all year, that's the dangerous one. And third and finally, if you're Rutgers, you've got to get Janelle Foligno back into the flow of things. She hasn't scored in 6 games. Now it's really 5 because she 4.5 because she missed one of those games, and of course was sent off for the second half against SMU. But she hasn't scored in over a month. That's very unlike her. Got to get Foligno back involved and on the score sheet.
American Athletic Conference quarterfinals, and we are underway on the Busch campus. Remember, Rutgers in the Reds at home today for this blackout affair where the fans wear black and Rutgers wears red. A lot at stake today for the Scarlet Knights as Natalie Smith, the Cincinnati keeper, gets her first touch, the redshirt freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio's famed St. Ursula Academy. But Kyle, are you looking to solidify postseason position in more than one way, trying to reach a conference semifinal for the first time since 2006, and with RPI 35, lock up an at-large bid to the NCAAs? Allie Ryan plays through. Tori Prager is onside. Foligno lays back for Ryan, and her strike is just high. The freshman involved early.
Yeah, it's good for Allie Ryan to get involved like that early in the game. I'm sure there's some nerves for her today. Her first start. Gets an early touch on the ball. It's a positive one, pushes it forward. It's good combination play from the Scarlet Knights. Foligno lays it back in the path of Allie Ryan, unable to get the shot on target, but I like what I saw there early on down this right-hand side from Rutgers.
Ryan, the freshman from Bowie, Maryland, team captain for Free State Elite 94, the club team led by Steve Campbell. All-county as well in Maryland twice over. Rutgers in the regular season, Kyle, 12-4-2, 5-3-1 in the American, but I think the stat most discussed, 10-1 here on this pitch.
Yeah, certainly 10 wins, a school record at home in a single season. Of course, that only loss was the other one to UConn. They bounced back and were able to beat Temple, but that's the key. You got to win your home games in college soccer, and the Scarlet Knights have been as good as anybody in the country over the last handful of years of doing that.
Little over 2 minutes in, no score. Great move by Haley Katkowski to get free, then gives it away. Good work to step in there by Bailey Wilson. Cincinnati just 3-8 on the road. Conversely, Kyle, as Glenn Crooks looks on, it's now 14 years, 14 postseason conference tournaments for Glenn Crooks. This one a little easier because everyone makes it.
Right. You would certainly think, look at those numbers and say Cincinnati 3-8 away from home and Rutgers 10-1 here at Deersack Field. Advantage Scarlet Knights.
Brianne Reed, the famed flip throw incoming for her, the sophomore from Tinton Falls and Red Bank Catholic High School. It's a dangerous one on second ball opportunities as Skrosky got a back to it. Prager knocks it down and away by the Cincy back line. These two teams haven't met once this year, Kyle. Way back on September the 27th in the Queen City at Gettler Stadium, a 1-0 Rutgers result. And in that contest, Janelle Foligno, a 43rd minute tally from Steph Scholes on the assist. 3 goals in the last 2 games for Foligno against Cincinnati. Madison Tiernan, a little windy today, colder than most games Rutgers has played at home this year. Foligno looked to turn. She's still on the ball. Strong play from the redshirt senior from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, and that is a Rutgers corner.
Well, you mentioned it, Janelle Foligno, 3 goals in the last 2 against the Bearcats. Sometimes there are teams that when you play them, you just happen to find the back of the net. She certainly has been in good goal scoring form against Cincinnati, so that could be a good sign for her trying to get back on that score sheet.
Neil Stafford, Cincinnati's first-year head coach, looks on. came in from Central Michigan University. His squad facing a corner kick 4 minutes in from Rutgers. Towards Skrosky it goes, and it's back out to Tori Prager, who volleys it in. Tiernan whiffed, and it's a handball. It's actually Rutgers' first corner kick in 94 minutes of soccer against Cincinnati this year, as you get your first look at Bruno Mazzo, the lead referee today. But Kyle Aryu was kept off the corner kick board against Cincinnati all 90 minutes on September 27th.
Well, and Rutgers has already made a good start today. They got the long throw in and then the corner kick, and we talked about it off the top, set pieces being dangerous, but that goes for both ways too, because Rutgers very good on that long throw and from the corner kicks, and again, it's the second ball we got to keep an eye on.
Steph Scholes to the corner, Rutgers leading goal scorer, make it corner number 2. Scholes 5th in the American Athletic Conference in goals with 10. To go along with one assist. They've all come in the last 12 games.
One thing Rutgers is doing, you can already see it, is the interchanging parts. Steph Scholes started on the left. That time she pops up on the right. Allie Ryan's on the left. Madison Tiernan's in behind. Tiernan will then come out to the right. Allie Ryan can drop deep. It just makes it difficult for Cincinnati to try and track all the markers.
Near side corner for Prager. She'll take it short. Foligno came to get it. Wasn't well struck. Prager leaving it towards Ryan in the corner. Good shielding by Wilson. And a goal kick, and a chance to let you in on some things about Cincinnati. Exceeding all expectations, Kyle. Picked 9th in this conference. They finished 6th. It was Neil Stafford that came in for Michelle Salmon after her dismissal following 5 seasons. 4-13-1, just 1-10 in the Big East a year ago.
Well, I think it was pretty clear a change was needed at Cincinnati. We saw them last year. We did that game, and they were, and to be frank, they were awful when they came in here and just got run off the pitch by Rutgers. And certainly Neil Stafford's come in from Central Michigan. He won 30 games there in 2 years, took the Chippewas to an NCAA tournament, and he's come in and done a really nice job in this his first season.
Awful probably kind on Kyle's part for that game that was played here in Piscataway a little over a year ago. It was a 5-0 Rutgers result on October the 14th of 2012. This will be a throw-in for Cincinnati deep in their area. Rutgers led 4-0 at halftime, scored all 5 goals on Christina Utley, who is now the backup goalkeeper. Foligno 2 goals that day for Glenn Crooks and company. Trish DiPaolo and Rachel Cole with a goal and an assist each. Jess Janos, Kyle, only played 8 minutes in goal in relief of Emmy Simpkins, the starting keeper for Rutgers last year. Nearly 7 minutes in, no score. American Athletic Conference quarterfinals, a ton at stake for Rutgers. Not only a conference semifinal appearance, but also probably locking up an at-large bid.
Yeah, I think, I know you talked to Glenn Crooks before the game, and as the coach, he feels like they need this game just to secure their status within the NCAA tournament. I think they're okay at 12-4-2, 5-3-1 in the conference, and with the RPI at 35. 12 wins is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a high quantity number, and there are no bad losses on that schedule. You know, if you were going to nitpick at the Scarlet Knights' resume, you may look and say, well, they lack a real quality win with some thump. And that's probably true, but I think the high quantity, the 12 wins, and the lack of any bad losses, beating all the teams they're supposed to beat, should have them safely in the field regardless of the result today.
And what's interesting to both you and me, as Katie Greer gets on the ball, the only East Coaster on Cincinnati from Massapequa on Long Island, the interesting thing about the Bearcats is that they have results against teams they probably shouldn't. UC Santa Barbara just losing 1-0. 5-4 against Louisville on the final day of the regular season. That a loss against the number 2 team in this conference. And they are the only squad with a result against UCF this year, that a draw in a game they led 1-0.
Well, that tells you that they're capable. Certainly able to come in here, and they're going to, you can see already from the first 10 minutes of the game, Cincinnati's going to soak up a lot of pressure. Rutgers is going to have the majority of the ball, but they'll be capable on the counterattack, trying to get forward in from set plays. You have to keep that in mind. You certainly can't come in here and think you're just going to go through the motions. Cincinnati is 3-8 or whatever on the road and going to walk out of here with a victory.
Natalie Smith, 14 starts at goalkeeper this year, couple of shutouts. Redshirted a year ago for the former number 12 national ranking by recruiting services for ESPN Rise her senior year in high school. Played for, as I mentioned before, the nation's number 1 high school team at St. Ursula Academy in Cincinnati. Good get at the time for Michelle Salmon. And Neil Stafford walks into that. Cooperus. It has been the Katie Cooperus show as of late, Kyle, hasn't it, for Cincinnati, the freshman from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah, she got 2 against Louisville in that 9-goal thriller on the final weekend of AAC play, and she'll be the player to keep an eye on for Cincinnati as the Bearcats look to go forward. 6 goals, 3 assists, and then Emily Elsbrock as well are the 2 danger players trying to get in behind that Rutgers back 4.
Cooperus will be the target forward, says Glenn Crooks. One of the top players in Colorado in the last decade. And she goes on to play for Cincinnati now. Goals in back-to-back games for Cooperus. Elsbrock. Greer with the service, and not all that well intended as it just switches the field for Atkinson. And Steph Scholes the takeaway. 10 minutes in, no score. American Athletic Conference quarterfinals on RVision. Thanks for tuning in on ScarletKnights.com. Danny Breslauer, Kyle Franco here with you. We'll play hurt here in the conference tournament, of course. I'm sure many of you dealing with the effects of allergy season here. Foligno pressuring high. Comes out wide for Melnick. This is a good combination play here from the Bearcats. Cooperus couldn't collect the touch. How about Erica Skrosky, Kyle, as she plays back to Jess Janos? Defender, 3 career goals, but they're all since October 13th.
She's in good goal scoring form.
Yes.
It's good to see her getting forward, though. That's what you want from your center back, is when you get the chance on the set piece. And certainly with Rutgers, the long throwing counts as a set piece. Get her forward and into dangerous positions. That second ball bounces down for her. And we've seen her finish really well a couple times from that second ball.
Also worth mentioning, Jess Janos, the keeper in the middle of your screen, redshirt senior from Ringwood, New Jersey. Her 6 shutouts, that's good for 2nd in the conference. Her 1.12 goals against average, good for 3rd in the league. Some of that a byproduct of Rutgers' defense, as I think Natalie Smith would tell you. The rankings on Cincinnati's side not as flattering.
Sure it is. Whenever you get clean sheets and you look at Jess Janos with 6, that's not only a reflection on the goalkeeper, but the entire organization of that back 4 working together.
Good turn by Prager. Lots of room to operate. Foligno decides to lay off for DePaulo. Good look back for Foligno. Rutgers probing here. Scholes. Foligno, tons of room. Out wide for Prager. Rutgers slightly timid moving forward here. Prager chips in. No one was there, but Rutgers will get a corner after a flub by Wilson.
Yeah, it was. Bailey Wilson made a mess of that. Gives away the corner.
The 3rd for Rutgers. It comes 12 minutes in as Glenn Crooks looks for career win number 200 today. Sits on 199 after the Temple win on senior day. There is Crooks coaching at LIU and St. Peter's prior to now his 14 seasons at Rutgers. Prager again, this one much better. Into the box and nearly off the line as Scholes tries to lefty it in. Back into the box, settles down. Foligno puts it home. Rutgers takes a little over 12 minutes to go up 1-0 on some ping pong in the box.
Well, we thought Janelle Foligno might get on the score sheet today based on her history against Cincinnati. And right there, the Bearcats don't deal with it defensively. That's the 2nd ball, the 3rd ball that Glenn Crooks is talking about. Comes back into Foligno, falls at her feet, and she finally finishes one off. That's got to feel so good for her after that long scoring drought.
There's a lot of players you could have given an assist to there. It comes in the 13th minute. Foligno currently the unassisted goal, her 8th of the season. Puts Rutgers up 1-0, and Kyle, you mentioned that as a key, getting Foligno back in a goal-scoring form.
It's a perfect start for Rutgers because it's been on top in this opening 12, 13 minutes of the game and gets the reward there from the corner kick. I got to say it was sloppy defending by Cincinnati in the first place to concede the corner there. Bailey Wilson with the missed kick on the corner, and then they don't deal with it. 2nd, 3rd ball falls to Foligno, and when she gets it 6 yards out like that, more times than not, she's going to finish it. And boy, that had to feel good for her because it has been a while since she last put it in the back of the net.
How about this, Kyle? First start of the career of Allie Ryan, book a point. an assist on that play, and it comes off the third ball from a corner kick. It is the first career point for Allie Ryan. It comes in minute 248 of her season. And I'd be remiss not to give some credit to Tori Prager. Not only her initial corner, which may have gone in by itself, but also when Scholes hit the lefty shot that comes back out to Prager, it was her header that comes into Ryan, tapped on to Foligno for the lefty finish. So 8 goals for Foligno as she continues to move up the Rutgers record books. Already the most game-winning goals in RU history with 17. That one just beyond the reach of Scholes. Single season records, Janelle Foligno tied for the most goals all time last year with 15. She now has 33 career goals with the Scarlet Knights. For the Canadian national team player, that is good for 4th in RU history. You'll take it. Nearly a quarter hour in if you're just checking in to ScarletKnights.com. It is a Rutgers lead. Rutgers wearing the Reds at home today in the conference tournament. A 13th-minute goal by the RU star, Janelle Foligno. Has them ahead 1-0 on the 6th seed Cincinnati. Skrusky. First 15, midfield possession, very crisp from Rutgers.
Yeah, I think, and Cincinnati's dropped off a little bit and invited the pressure. I think that was probably the plan coming in, is to soak up some of that and see if you can't nick one on the counterattack. If you're the Bearcats, you can't change the plan, though, just because you conceded an early goal. You got to stick with your shape, stay compact defensively, try to get one on the counter. When you open up is the last 15, 20 minutes. If you're still 1-0 down in that time of the game, that's when you open it up, start to throw some extra players forward. But don't expose yourself at the back too early, because then you're looking at 2-3 in a runaway train.
DiPaolo taken down. Well played on advantage by Bruno Mazzo.
So, come here, please. Yes, sir. My
DiPaolo will set things up. A 7th-year senior for Rutgers from Sparta. Maybe the most unique senior class in the country. A 4th-year senior in Maria Giroux, a 5th-year senior in Janelle Foligno, a 6th-year senior in Jess Janos, and a 7th-year senior in Trish DiPaolo. Line drive ball out wide for Ryan. Another meaningful touch for Allie Ryan from way out. We'll skip into Smith.
I gotta say, we talked at the start about putting Allie Ryan into the lineup. Was it a good idea, considering she had not started a game all year? And for a freshman, you know what? I think maybe Glenn Crooks was on to something, because she's come in, Allie Ryan, and done very well right there. Made a confident start, and right there has a little bit of space, takes on the shot. Unfortunately for her, it's right at the goalkeeper.
We'll get into American Athletic Conference Tournament Central, if you will, in the second half of play. All you need to know is the winner of this one will take on the winner of number 2 seed Louisville, number 7 seed Memphis. That game kicking off in the Bluegrass State today at 4:30. So neither of these teams will know who they get until later on tonight. So far, so good for Rutgers against a Cincinnati team that they've had a ton of success all time against. 9-2-1 are the Scarlet Knights against Cincinnati. Great tackle from Prager, who's had a bright start to this game. Scholes and Prager play 1-2 out wide. Foligno. Foligno looking to split the double. Maybe one touch too late, Kyle, on that move inside.
Well, you could see as soon as she picked the ball up, 2 Cincinnati defenders were flowing out to her, going to try and make it difficult, close her down there. There was really nowhere for Janelle Foligno to go. Tried to split them, touched a little bit too heavy.
18th minute, 1-0 Rutgers. A 13th minute goal by Janelle Foligno off a Tori Prager corner that was knocked on by Allie Ryan. 3 shots to none in favor of the Scarlet Knights. They have 3 corners, very important stat early. Jess Janos has been quite bored in her own box. Nothing to do just yet. And 1 save for the Cincinnati keeper, Natalie Smith. This is Cincinnati's first conference quarterfinal since '08. They won 10 games in the Big East. RU searching for a first conference semifinal since 2006. Jay Atkinson's back post. She cannot keep that in. It is a Rutgers goal kick. And there is Rutgers Director of Intercollegiate Athletics, Julie Herman, alongside Kate Hickey and Randy Larson, three important members of the Rutgers Athletic Department. And the AD has to be thrilled, Kyle, with the first 19 minutes of play from the RU women's soccer program.
Yeah, been a good start for the Scarlet Knights here at home, trying to win for the 11th time on the pitch at Yersack Field, and so far so good.
Good weekend as well, of course, with the Rutgers football team. A dramatic come-from-behind victory in the fourth quarter yesterday against Temple with another late touchdown from Leonte Carew. Haley Katkowski will give up a professional foul near midfield and force Cincy to reset. Mentioned that '06 conference semifinal. Rutgers actually advanced in that '06 season after going 16-1-3. They made it to the conference championship game as Janos gobbles that up. Who was the captain, or one of the captains of that team that lost 4-2 to Notre Dame in the Big East final? None other than Rutgers assistant coach Megan Ryan. So she has experience at this level of the postseason. For a Rutgers team that has been to 5 NCAAs, all at large, under Glenn Crooks. Good win by Prager. Shoots out Foligno 3-on-2. Foligno to her right foot, off for Steph Scholes. Scholes, the lefty rip is just wide, but great work from Rutgers 3-on-2.
Yeah, it really was. Ball goes out. Maybe a little bit fortunate was Tori Prager that it bounces into her path, but then she gets it into Foligno, moved it out to Scholes on the right, and you could see what Steph Scholes, great goal scoring form this year, wants to do. Just shows it on the right, dinks it back into the left foot. Probably should have got that on frame, though, for somebody that's been scoring goals the way she has this year.
The junior out of Immaculate Heart Academy, South Hackensack native, 10 goals in the last 12 games. It started with a seemingly innocuous goal against Bryant on Friday, September 13th. And when I think we realized that she was here to stay was Sunday the 15th, put home 4 goals. That against Princeton.
Yeah, really out of nowhere story, isn't it, Danny? She was on the fringes of this team to start the year. And Glenn Crooks gave her a chance against Bryant. She scored, came back against Princeton, and put in 4. So, you know, it's one of those things that if you're a forward and you want to play, go score goals. That's how you stay on the field.
And to be honest, I think even I left that weekend saying, well, maybe it was just a fluke, those 4 goals. And I'll explain why in a second. We realized it wasn't. As Cincy moves forward here with an attack through Elsbrock. Now off for Greer along the wing. Ball into the box, and Janos, the 6-foot keeper, up to get it. I think what solidified Steph Scholes' role in this offense is we're here in the 22nd minute, Rutgers up 1-0 on a Janelle Foligno goal in the 13th. It was the goal against Villanova to win the game with 30 seconds left that next Friday. After having the 5 goals on the weekend, you get the big goal to win the game against Nova. Tons of room to work for Greer. Just drives it wide.
Now it's good hold-up play by the center forward Cooperist there. Just moves it in the path of Greer. Rutgers, the center back, just backs off a little bit, inviting Greer to take the shot, and she didn't catch it at full strength, and it ends up going harmlessly wide. But that's where you got to be careful if you're the Scarlet Knights. It's just Cooperist back to goal, laying it off to a teammate. Got to come out and close Greer down there a little quicker.
Greer, the senior from Massapequa,
6.
only East Coast player on the squad from Long Island, who played at St. Anthony's High School out there. Always a very solid athletic department. Steph Scholes, a burst of speed as Laura Rose checked in for Cincinnati. The number 19, a short bench for the Bearcats. Allie Ryan. Good shoulder-to-shoulder working back from Utley.
And then see if you can get Trish involved if you need to as well.
And Utley cannot get the clearance far enough away. Rutgers will counter with a sub of their own in Rachel Cole, who did have a goal and an assist last year against the Bearcats. the sophomore forward from Teaneck, who will come on for Allie Ryan. Good work in 23 minutes.
Yeah, it certainly was from Allie Ryan. Started really positive here, and she moved all over the field. The rush, we saw her pop up on the right, on the left, a little bit in midfield, so clearly showed some versatility today. And you thought there might be some nerves for her today, making her first career start, but certainly she came out and put some good, solid touches on the ball early, and I think that helped her going forward.
So Ryan takes a seat, gets the assist on the Foligno goal, and can be thrilled with her 23 minutes of work in the postseason here. Mentioned Laura Rose, the sophomore, the 19, who will play out wide right for Ellsbrock now for Cincinnati. She is from Cincinnati, the Queen City, handball on Foligno. Couple of goals, couple of assists this year, but Kyle, she was one of the better goal scorers in the Big East a year ago before breaking her leg prior to the Rutgers game. I think they expected some big things out of her, but that leg injury has settled things down as she's on the ball now.
Yeah, and that's so tough to come back from. It's almost just like getting your feet wet again here and learning how to replay the game when you come off an injury like that. You know, obviously the numbers not as great as I think people would have projected because of the injury. Not anything to do with her talent. Just 2 goals this year. She's come off the bench a lot, so limited minutes. But it's almost just like like teaching you. You got to relearn everything, and then you expect her then to come back. And I would expect a big junior season from her. In a wild 5-4 game on the final day of the regular season that Louisville knocked off Cincy to remain in the 2 spot. Just Rose and the number 7, that being Danielle Rotherham, who came in with Neil Stafford from Central Michigan. That was all Cincy used off the bench. Here's Cooperis, lots of room outside. Crosses it in, away by DePaulo nicely. Comes down for a shot from way out as it goes over top from Bailey Wilson. It was her mishap in back that led to Rutgers' corner kick and eventually Foligno's goal in the 13th. Rutgers' second round of the NCAA tournament a year ago, went over Colgate in round 1. A loss to Virginia of 6-0 in round 2. RU looks to improve on that this year. Nifty turn from Cole. The play through over top for Foligno, who is onside along the wing. Foligno, a Rutgers corner. That's a nice play from Rachel Cole in the center of midfield there. You know she's one of my favorite players. When she comes in off the bench, I think she's got a ton of talent. We've talked about her goal scoring record in high school. Obviously, that hasn't quite come off at the college level yet, but she's shown glimpses both as a freshman and this year as a sophomore that she can pick out a killer pass right there. That's a great ball over the top to send Foligno free.
4th corner today for Tori Prager, comes in the 26th. This one loops in. Dangerously settled down for a moment. Good look here for Prager again. Right into the box towards Skrosky and away by Utley. Scholes had it knocked off her by Laura Rose. And we've often brought back the stat of Rutgers' propensity to win games with halftime leads. A little less dominant than the stat we gave you a year ago, but still 38-2-2 when leading at the half. I think also more importantly this year, 7-2-2 in games decided by a goal or less.
Yeah, throw that number in along with the home record, and yeah, I think it's fair to say it's an uphill climb for Cincinnati.
Glenn Crooks did say, though, you cannot let a team like Cincinnati, this was before the game today, remain within a goal because of how direct they are. They make all hell break loose in the final 5 minutes of games.
All you need is one, free kick. You give it away in a bad area. And Cincinnati could almost see none of the ball come up, one set piece, and bang, it's in the back of your net.
So insurance, as Breanne Reed does well to sell that. Insurance may be the most important thing today for Rutgers.
A second goal totally changes the way Cincinnati has to play. You've got to open it up, throw an extra body forward. This is your season on the line. If you're the Bearcats, they got to win the American Athletic Conference Tournament.
Foligno for Scholes. Steph Scholes could not get around Utley, and it's a 5th Rutgers corner. And to be completely true about this, a dominant Rutgers first half so far.
It certainly has been. Rutgers has been on top from the opening kickoff, and a second goal would certainly do the Scarlet Knights confidence wonders.
2 weeks ago, Glenn Crooks said staying at home for the quarters would change our season. He knew exactly that once they clinched the bye. Prager bends it in to Skrosky. Down for Reed, somehow blocked. Somehow a leg kept that away from goal.
Surely Brienne Reed had thought she'd scored there. And I don't know if it was one of her own players or a Cincinnati player. But Reed hits it with the left foot, and she must have thought she had scored. And I don't know whoever blocked it even knew anything about it. A lot of bodies in there, and it's unlucky for Brienne Reed.
The downstairs look on a gorgeous day in Piscataway at Yersack Field. Danny Breslauer, Kyle Franco with you on RVision, presented by AT&T via ScarletKnights.com, capping off the fall sports schedule here. We'll have some volleyball throughout the course of November, and of course, your basketball coverage. Morash slides it through for Cole. Rachel Cole trips over the ball. Would have been a good opportunity for Rutgers. Brienne Reed just a second ago almost doubling Rutgers' advantage. And you're right, Kyle. Everyone but Brienne Reed was blind to that.
Second ball is Amanda and all distance set pieces.
Reed. Great cross just over Foligno. Scholes was there too.
It was a great ball from Brienne Reed in towards Foligno, who was hanging off the back shoulder. And it's just an inch too far, isn't it? If Foligno can bring that down, all she's got to do is slide it past the goalkeeper.
The wind about 15 miles per hour, so it can play a factor for balls that are cleared in the air. About 50 degrees outside today. Solid soccer weather. Amanda DeVolk and Aaron Smith getting ready to check in for RU. That good news with Maggie Morash starting today for Rutgers at outside left back to see that Aaron Smith is able to go. Here is Morash. Tiernan could not get there. We've played a half hour in the first half. It's 1-0 Rutgers on a 13th minute goal by Janelle Foligno. And I'm sure Neil Stafford on Cincinnati's side is thinking, we were an overtime PK away from being 500 overall heading into this tournament. And Rutgers right now is making us look like a last place team. 2 subs for Cincy as well, in the form of Kelly Latimer and Mackenzie Reynolds. As you see the flags whipping around. Smith and DeVolk on for Rutgers. Scholes comes off along with Morash. If you're Jess Janos, slightly lonely. She has made a couple catches.
Replacing number 9, Stephanie Scholes. And number 15, Aaron Smith.
DeVolk for Tiernan.
Maggie Morash.
Amanda DeVolk, the redshirt sophomore from Texas. Has played through injuries throughout the majority of her career. Interesting hop there. A normally true surface here in Piscataway. DeVolk chased by Melnick. It's a goal kick. Rutgers has been dominant in first halves this year, 19-8 in the goal differential. It's actually Cincy's best half as well, 11-11. Both teams have struggled after intermission. Rutgers 15-15. Cincy outscored 24-18 after halftime. 13 minutes to go, half number 1. And it's a Rutgers 1-goal lead, could be much more. Both Scholes and Reed missing point-blank opportunities after Foligno's goal. Katkowski. Good tackle from Wilson. Make sure you stick around for the second half. Kyle and I will go around the American Athletic Conference tournament, let you know what happened in the play-in games. What are your quarterfinal matchups today? 2 of them going along simultaneously with us at 1 p.m. kickoffs. However, the one that matters to either of these teams, Memphis and Louisville, that's occurring at 4:30. Good trap by DePaulo. Some skill to leave it off for Katkowski. Smith. Aaron Smith has Rachel Cole. Instead, she'll stay on the ball. And now go for Cole, who is onside. Rachel Cole, back heel for Tori Prager. Good offensive work from RU. Smith's cross is blocked.
That was a good initial run by Aaron Smith there.
Here is Rachel Cole on the ball. Lefty strike is off the bar. Follow up by DeVolk is blocked, but that is the bit of brilliance that Rachel Cole brings to the table. Goal kick, and Cole nearly doubled the advantage.
It certainly is. It's a nice turn by Rachel Cole to move it onto her left foot, and that was hit with some power, wasn't it? And it was swerving, goalkeeper beaten, and saved by her crossbar. But that initial move was made by Aaron Smith. That was a great run just into the game from left back through the middle. I thought it just, Rutgers lacked a little bit of an idea at the end of it, and it bogged down a little bit. Little quicker decision, but then Cincinnati not able to get it clear. Scarlet Knights keep the pressure up, and Rachel Cole almost with a bit of magic there at the end.
A lot of credit to those that came out to Yersack Field today, Kyle. Kind of a last-minute blackout call, not something that they've known since the start of the year, but most following the trend. Rutgers wearing the road reds with the underblacks.
Well, those superstitious may have scoffed at the idea of wearing road jerseys at home for a team with 10 wins at home, but you know what? I don't think that matters to the players. Once they get out there on the field and the whistle blows, you can dress them like in spacesuits, as these football teams all dress in. And,
that's right.
And I don't think the players care once they get out there.
Melnick is the long throw potential for Cincy. She'll step into this. Couple of bounces in the box, dangerous spot. Skrosky does good work. 10 to play opening half as Jennifer Andreessen will get ready to check in for Rutgers. Came off the bench on senior day with Maria Giroux starting.
Little more central, Kel. You can use your right.
Second ball here. Oh, great tackle from Tiernan as she knocks Latimer off the ball. Could have been a look at goal otherwise.
Yeah, it was good timing by Tiernan on the tackle. You're right, Latimer was lining that up for a shot.
Away by Tiernan. Fresh-legged DeVolk running at that. Tough spot for Smith with Foligno bearing down on her. Now Rachel Cole. Throw in which way? Lead official will say Cincy.
You're right, defender left Natalie Smith in a spot of bother there. A difficult ball back for the goalkeeper to control, and give Smith credit, did really well to get that out of danger.
Shots, 6-2 in favor of Rutgers. A pair of saves for Smith, none for Jess Janos for Rutgers yet. 5 corners to none for RU in this first half. Oh, a little bit of a scuffle behind the ball, some pushing and shoving between Cincy's Megan Cravener. And it looked like RU's Tori Prager. So they got tied up.
Yeah. Sorry, Danny, a little bit of afters there, some pushing. Referee pulls it back for a free kick in the end when the advantage didn't develop. You know, thankfully nothing more than that.
Good job by the freshman Prager keeping her wits about her, not retaliating. Seen that once this year at Yersack Field. Not end up in Rutgers' best interests. Speaking of, here is Janelle Foligno on the ball. Splits a double. And that's a foul, certainly. There's the bit of one-on-one work that she can bring to the table every single game. Already on a goal and brimming with confidence. With that goal, she worked her way up to 19 points. And I believe Rutgers' bench has been warned, and now they'll let one substitution on. It's Jenna Seddon.
Apollo limping off. Which obviously is not good news.
She's nodding, though, at Robbie Zantini.
Yeah, she looks like she's okay. I wonder if maybe she just got kneed in the thigh, and that's always painful.
Yeah. So Allie Ryan, a freshman, get a start today, and Jenna Seddon will come on as well. Freshman from Galloway and Absegami High School. Same spot as Erica Skrosky. Collision there goes against Cole.
Well, if I was Cincinnati, I'd try to get the ball out to the right-hand side here and run at the freshman that's just come on. She hasn't played a lot of minutes this year. You got to recognize the personnel on the field if you're the Bearcats. See if you can't get that ball out to the wide right and have a run at the new left back.
just the 9th appearance this year for Seddon. 81 minutes of total action. 7 minutes to go, half one. Here comes Andreessen for Tiernan. Rutgers has done well to keep their attackers fresh. The only one that has not come off yet, Janelle Foligno, and it's because I think she's finally, Kyle, hitting that full form.
Yeah, and I think once she got that goal, and as you said, she's brimming with confidence, you certainly don't want to take her off now that she's refound her goal-scoring boots.
Beaten along this side is Smith by Rotherham. The Central Michigan transfer. A good cross, far post. Janos cannot get to it, and Andreessen will hit a little bit of it. Just enough of it to get it away for a moment. Better by Reed.
Oh, it's a little scrappy from Rutgers in the back there. First real time Cincinnati able to get forward on this left-hand side, and Rotherham with a decent ball in. Janos didn't really deal with it. Got to get a better punch than that, does the Rutgers goalkeeper, but in the end her defense is able to help her out, and Rutgers, not pretty, but able to scrap it away.
Rotherham, the MAC all-freshman team member, came over with Neil Stafford, the head coach from CMU. She's from Quebec, just like Amy Pietrangelo of Rutgers. A Canadian hotbed for talent, as Rutgers is found through Foligno and others. Here is Rotherham, whose last name has roots in the United Kingdom. Smith takes it away from her. 5:30 to go opening half. Rutgers riding a 13th minute goal by Janelle Foligno, leads 1-0. American Athletic Conference quarterfinals here on RVision, presented by AT&T. Danny Breslauer, Kyle Franco here with you. Takeaway by Rutgers. Cole for Katkowski. Kyle, final 5 minutes. If you're either side, what are your emphases?
Don't concede a goal.
Okay. That's all?
That's all. That's all. Make sure you don't concede a goal.
And this is why we pay him the big bucks, as Skrosky makes his way through the middle of the field.
Because another goal here in the last 5 minutes changes the entire complexion of the second half.
Counter. Rotherham looking to do just that for Cincy. It goes out wide, and the Bearcats have a breakaway on Janos, who got a piece of that with her gloves. The shot was by Callie Taylor alongside the right wing.
Well, it's a terrific break by the Bearcats, and the ball in the Taylor just dissects the Rutgers center backs, and she's 1v1 against Janos. And give the big goalkeeper credit because she gets off her line, spreads the arms, and is able to make a save there and keep her team ahead.
Callie
and what
Taylor.
did I just say?
You did. Don't concede a goal, and certainly Erin Smith tripping over the ball leads to the Cincy counter, and their first corner kick of the day for Kelly Latimer. It's Callie Taylor, who had just come on, just 1 goal on the year, nearly doubles that. Latimer, far post, knocked around. Katkowski will clear it. Here goes DeVolk, one-on-one. That first touch gets around the defender. Here goes Amanda DeVolk. One-on-one with Melnick. Back for the help in Foligno, who could not get her first touch clean and square.
Oh, that was terrific work by Amanda DeVolk on the breakout there. Beat the first defender and then is able to hold it up and wait for support. Rutgers got players forward there. Unfortunately for Foligno, it was a poor first touch.
Another counter for the Bearcats. Again, it's Rotherham, who looks very bright since coming on. A trio of minutes to go. Opening half. Quarterfinal of the conference tournament. Megan Ryan out on the line, screaming instructions to her defense.
I'll tell you what, Danny, that was a terrific chance for Cincinnati that fell to Callie Taylor there. And you just wonder if she had been on the pitch for more than just a couple minutes, a little more warmed up, if she would have put that in the back of the net.
Second corner for Cincy in as many minutes after having none through 40.
No, but that's what Neil Stafford wants, though. When the Bearcats, when they get a chance to break like that, a Rutgers mistake, Erin Smith trips over the ball in the midfield. That allows Cincinnati to break. When they have those opportunities, that's when it can be dangerous. That's what Neil Stafford wants on the counterattack like that. And really, Callie Taylor should have scored there. But give Janos credit, got off her line quickly, made the save.
Latimer It's Foligno getting back to get ahead to that. DeVolk for Foligno, who can spill forward as Rutgers will look to counter. Jenna Seddon joins the attack. Andreessen alone on the right wing. If Seddon sees her, that's exactly what she looks to do, but it wasn't square enough. 2 minutes to go. It was the Long Beach, California native and Callie Taylor who could not equalize for Cincy. Rutgers still using their star player, Janelle Foligno's 13th minute goal, her 8th of the year. That's a clear push by Seddon, 2 arms. You're okay to give that away. Far post, Rotheram. It's a handball on Rotheram for bringing it down with her forearm.
It's a good spot by the referee. Rotheram trying to bust through 2 Rutgers defenders there, split the defenders, and did just bring it down with her arm.
Outside of the one little tete-a-tete between Megan Cravener and Tori Prager midway through the half, Bruno Mazzo, a frankly pretty easy first half to call. As we enter the 45th minute, 1 minute to play opening half.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
A year ago, it was argued losing to UConn in this round of the Big East tournament. That game played on the road, so Rutgers happy to be home. Here is Foligno in the final minute of the half. Looking for Andreessen. Katkowski wins the header. Now Prager. She helps set up the first goal, and away from the ball, Foligno pushing and shoving with Melnick, the defender. Just a foul.
Yeah, just a coming together there. I don't think either player, was trying to initiate any kind of, nonsense there. They just sort of came together. Melnick ended up on the ground.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Veterans step up in the postseason. And in the 13th minute, that's what Janelle Foligno does. 1-0 Rutgers at the half.
They certainly do, Danny. You're right. Janelle Foligno had gone a long time without a goal, and we thought she had a good record against Cincinnati. Let's get her going. That would be a key for the Scarlet Knights, and certainly able to put it in the back of the net, and that's great news moving forward in the second half of this game.
The first goal since October 4th for Foligno has Rutgers up 1-0 at halftime of the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals. After 15 minutes, we'll be back with half number 2 on RVision, presented by AT&T.
And be sure to stop by the concession stands located on the concourse behind the stands, where you can enjoy
Complex on Bush Campus, across from the sunny Werblin Recreation Center and your Sack Field here in Piscataway, New Jersey. The American Athletic Conference quarterfinals in women's soccer. It's Rutgers 1, Cincinnati 0 at halftime on a 13th-minute goal by Janelle Foligno. Danny Breslauer, Kyle Franco here with you. Kyle, around the league, it's UCF 1-0 over SMU. Still trying to get updates on the UConn affair in this tournament against USF. And at 4:30, the one that matters to these two sides, Louisville and Memphis. But so far, so good for Rutgers.
Yeah, you're right, Danny. They came in today and were on top from the opening kickoff. Got their big star back amongst the goals, which is great news. And if I'm Glenn Crooks, I'm asking my team more the same in the second half. We controlled the play. Let's continue to do that, except when we get that opportunity, because we had a couple to double the advantage, let's take advantage of it and let's put this game out of reach for the Bearcats.
Bearcats trying to rally some energy after being held to just 3 shots in period number 1. One of them on goal that Jess Janos turned away on a breakaway by Callie Taylor. Rutgers 6 shots to Cincinnati's 3. Corners are 5-2 in favor of Rutgers. 1 save for each keeper. 7 fouls for Rutgers, just 3 for Cincinnati. Erica Skrosky, a big part of that RU defense, holding Cincy scoreless.
Yeah, and if I'm Neil Stafford in Cincinnati, I still have to make sure I'm keeping my shape defensively and we're staying compact, because there's still time in this game to get an equalizer. We can look and try and nick something on the counter, and I actually thought Cincinnati did a better job in the last 10 minutes of the half of creating some opportunities. Certainly Callie Taylor had a great chance to level going into the half. But if you're Neil Stafford, just keep your girls compact. Let them understand you don't have to panic yet. You don't have to go out and chase the game. When we start to get to the 20-minute mark, 15, 20-minute mark, if Rutgers is still ahead 1-0, then we'll look for Cincinnati to throw an extra player forward, and things will really open up as they go for an equalizer.
Just 1 goal in this game, 12:24 in. That in the 13th minute from Janelle Foligno. The assist by Allie Ryan in her first career start for Rutgers. Kyle, your keys to the second half.
Oh, if I'm Rutgers, we talked about controlling the midfield. That's got to continue. Rutgers certainly been on top in the midfield. Haley Katkowski's done really well when she's got on the ball, and they've created dangerous opportunities moving forward. Again, Janelle Foligno, she's already back amongst the goals. She's flowing with confidence right now, having been able to break the scoring drought. Keep feeding her.
Glenn Crooks looking for win number 200 in his career.
Yeah, Neil Stafford not happy right now. Danny should point out he thinks Rutgers is taking a long time coming out of the locker room. The Scarlet Knights had a huddle on the sideline, had another huddle on the field. He was a little unhappy at the beginning of the game, thought Rutgers was a little late coming out of the locker room. Maybe some gamesmanship there, but the Cincinnati coach not happy at the start of the second half.
RU also looking for its first conference semifinal since 2006. That team went to the Big East Championship game with Megan Ryan, the RU assistant coach, as one of its captains. The number 3 seed Rutgers at 12-4-2 overall, 5-3-1 in the American Athletic Conference. Cincinnati Bearcats, the number 6 seed, 8-10-1 overall, 4-4-1 in the American. Rutgers in the Road Reds playing at home. Fans wearing black for a blackout, so Rutgers, to counter with school colors, goes with the Reds at home. Cincinnati, their normal home whites, playing with them on the road. Quiet first half for Emily Elsbrock, who will take this throw. She has 6 goals on the year. Katkowski does not get a piece to it. Settles down for Cooperis. Brianne Reed will chop it away. Tiernan was fouled from behind. That by Melnick. There's the black-clad fans here at your Sack Field. Blackouts work pretty well during the day, whiteouts at night, as you tend to see around the country. Scholes, first player to that ball, took a ricochet off of Christy Howard. Maggie Morash the takeaway. Cooperis. Wilson Along the wing to Taylor Nelson. It was Wilson's flubbing back that led to Rutgers' third corner of the first half. And Tori Prager's second ball in with the head, flicked on by Allie Ryan to Janelle Foligno. And I think, Kyle, between Steph Scholes missing from 6 yards and Breanne Reed the same, Rutgers could have 3 so far.
Yeah, there's been a couple of chances that have gone for both teams that could have altered this game. And certainly after Foligno got the goal, you're right, Steph Scholes had that great opportunity when she moved it on her left foot. And then Breanne Reed, I thought, was really unlucky not to score. The goal was gaping, but unfortunately there are about 4 bodies in front of her that deflected the shot away.
So here comes Breanne Reed to take a flip throw in. And the bevy of legs that were in her way didn't really have a chance to chip that up and look for a top corner.
No, she just had to hit it first time, and the goalkeeper was certainly not there to save it, but unfortunately there were about 6 pairs of legs there.
Ball to the ground, flip throw it. That got away from her. Takes a good Rutgers bounce to Tiernan, on for Foligno, who cut it off at the top of the 6. Just looking for Reed, takeaway by Jay Atkinson. Cooperis, the turn is blocked by DePaulo, the former forward, and the foul is on Cincy. Trish DePaulo doing good work in what seems like her 10th conference tournament, but it's really only her 4th as an active player. Has 7 years at Rutgers. Couple of knee injuries for the former All-State forward. That at Lenape Valley Regional. 49th minute, free kick for Reed. Bounce down beyond Scholes. Sprinting is Tiernan, and the freshman having a great year. 6 goals, 5 assists on the ball, on the end line. Strength to shield off. Cuts it back for Scholes.
You're right, Danny. Great strength from the freshman Madison Tiernan. She showed that all year. Gets to the end line and then cuts it back. Steph Scholes had to take that first time on her left foot, but she's not able to get it on target. It's a good chance for the Scarlet Knights, who once again have started brightly in the opening of the second half.
Scholes, the player that so many Scarlet Knights have looked for in the last month and a half. 10 goals in that 6 weeks. Katkowski from Skrosky. Ahead for Foligno. Janelle turns and chips. Allie Ryan starting the second half. Gave Rutgers 23 great minutes at the start of the game. And I'd imagine you have to agree with that. Stick with what worked off the top.
Sure, particularly the way you started the game. You came out on fire in that first 10 to 15 minutes. Go back to that starting lineup. See if you can't get the same thing to happen to start the second 45 minutes and try and grab another goal here.
So what's at stake? Rutgers RPI number 35, still trying to lock up an at-large bid here in the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals. Of course, winning the conference tournament would mean an auto bid to the NCAAs. Here's Morash, a Rutgers throw. Breanne Reed will take her sweet time to get over there. Cincinnati, of course, they need to win the whole thing, as Bruno Mazzo will stop the clock, probably because he feels Rutgers was taking too much time to get to that ball.
She's walking from 40 yards away, Coach.
It's a little soon for time wasting.
Well, you heard the explanation from the 4th official.
And I agree with the 4th official.
Spinning ball in off the throw from Reed. A real mess there for the center defense of Cincy.
Yeah, I have no idea why Breanne Reed is doing that 5 minutes into the second half. Rutgers certainly doesn't need to be wasting time here. Or at least don't make it that obvious this early in the second half.
Winner gets number 2 Louisville or number 7 Memphis in Friday's semifinal in the American Athletic Conference tournament in Orlando. Semis can be viewed live on theamerican.org. Championship match Sunday in Orlando on ESPNU. Here's Jay Atkinson, who assisted on the goal against UCF the only result for a team in this conference against the Knights this year. It was Emily Elsbrock who scored it, and it's a Cincinnati corner.
There you go. Cincinnati gets forward. Atkinson tries to get across, and Allie Ryan does a good job working back and deflects it away. But the Bearcats able to get a corner. What did Glenn Crooks tell us? That set pieces, this is where Rutgers got to be careful, have to deal with not just the first ball, but the second ball.
7 minutes into half number 2. 13th minute goal by Janelle Foligno has Rutgers up 1-0. Curling ball, Janos two-fisted punch. Cooperis shot is blocked. Out in front, still loose. Skrosky deals with the danger. RU is begging for insurance here as Steph Scholes takes it away. 2-on-3 with Foligno. Probably had a few touches to that first.
Yeah, it was. It was on there. She could have got that in behind the Foligno. She was through. Good interception by Utley.
Katkowski. That's what she does so well. The RU sophomore, who has started every game of her career. A few Scarlet Knights with lengthy starting streaks. One of those is, of course, Katkowski. Greer. Prager falls down. It's Katkowski who has started 40 straight matches. So has Trish DiPaolo. Erica Skrosky, 26 straight. Those were coming into today. Goal kick Rutgers. Neil Stafford, the Cincinnati head coach. First year was named coach back on November 26th of a year ago. 2 years as head coach at Central Michigan. And 8 years before that at Assumption in Massachusetts, a very successful Division II school. He had experience in the NESCAC, the conference that Assumption plays in, while at Norwich University. And then he transferred on to Southern New Hampshire, and some more. Katie Greer pushing and shoving with Allie Ryan. Foul called on Ryan. And Trish DiPaolo felt that she saw a forearm.
Again, that's the second time we've seen some bodies get tangled up, some pushing and some shoving going on again. Thankfully, nothing more than just that. The initial foul went against Allie Ryan, and then the two players got tangled up.
Glenn Crooks actually signaling to Bruno Mazzo that he felt there was a punch thrown within that scum.
We've been down that road before. We certainly don't need to go there again.
Yeah, not in a conference tournament. Not with maybe Louisville on the horizon. Well taken by Howard. And back, Rutgers has been so solid. This time it's Tori Prager getting behind at the center back role.
It's all hands on deck when Cincinnati gets a free kick in that area.
That is the MO of Cincinnati coming in. Behind a goal, they are so dangerous in your third with set pieces. Glenn Crooks making that a key on his locker room board before the game. I think the coolest thing about his board pregame was the last thing he had written in a different color. It said, postseason soccer, there's nothing like it.
I agree 100%. You know, everything is magnified in the postseason. You know, every mistake, you know, every bit of magic.
56th minute. We've played just over 10 here, half number 2. Janelle Foligno's 8th goal of the year. The difference right now at 1-0 Rutgers. Conference quarterfinals. Cincinnati feels maybe underappreciated at the 6th seed. And to really make waves, they'll need one at least. Just for those that are maybe new to college soccer, we've had this happen at Yersack Field a few times this year. If you are equal after 90 minutes of play, there are 2 10-minute golden goal extra time sessions. That means a goal in either ends the game. However, because it's the postseason now, if those end in a draw, unlike the regular season where it ends on level pegging, we go on to penalty kicks as Maggie Morash face down in the Yersack Field grass here.
Yeah, Maggie Morash got crunched there. Again, 2 players coming together, and the Cincinnati player just tumbled on top of her. Morash got Ben in an awkward position. Looks like she's okay. Got tangled up with Elsbrock there. You know, certainly the emotions running high right now. A lot of intensity in this game.
Elsbrock will take the throw in.
Drop into yours to attack.
Flicked on. Rutgers deals with it, and Morash will put it in a tougher spot to throw. Cincinnati moves that ball up at least 5 yards to take the throw from the same spot. You can get away with that most of the time. Elsbrock, same spot, flicked on. Katkowski can't control it, and Greer fires high.
Well, it fell for Greer, and it sat up nicely. She wasn't able to keep it on target, but again, it's the second ball that Glenn Crooks was concerned about coming in. Katkowski's got to do a better job dealing with that. Got to be away first time. Just bang it out of there.
Rutgers picked third in the American Athletic Conference preseason poll. They finished third, so unlike most preseason polls, which are absolutely useless, they got that one right. They got the top 3 correct as well with UCF and Louisville. Reed can't save it. Throw in Cincy again in the same spot.
You know, Danny, good spell of pressure here for Cincinnati.
It was one-way traffic for Rutgers first half hour. Since then, a little bit each way.
You just want to weather it if you're Rutgers here.
A throw-in took off, and Wilson heads it wide. Consider it weathered.
That's exactly what you want. Obviously, the Bearcats had a good spell in the last 5 minutes right there. Goal kick goes out. Get your bodies up the field. Get players up the field. Take this one long if you're Janos.
Easier said than done with the wind whipping around here. Good win by Howard over top Prager. Overlap through ball. A little too much for Cooperis. And frankly, she has been non-existent. Rutgers has done very well. Mostly Erica Skrosky and Breanne Reed, 2 center backs playing behind the target forward.
Yeah, they've done a great job against Cooperis and Elsbrock, the top scorers for Cincinnati. But, you know, with that said, well, we've seen Cincinnati a couple set pieces. The ball ping-pongs around, always going to be dangerous.
It's the second time in 5 minutes that the official stops the clock for a Rutgers throw.
Jess! Your goal kicks have to be wider!
Glenn Crooks instructing Jess Janos with the wind tunnel in the middle of the field. Need to play the wings with those goal kicks to avoid counters.
Right, she hit, because of the wind, that last one she hit came up a little short. Cincinnati ended up winning the head ball, and Rutgers wasn't able to get out of its own half.
Morash had Katkowski. Now we'll use the wing. It's off Foligno. Throw in. Let's look around the conference as Rotherham comes on for Cincy. Kyle, we had 2 play-in games Friday night. One in Louisville, Kentucky between Memphis and Houston. And boy, that Tiger scoring machine continues. 11 goals in the last 2 games. Valerie Sanderson and Cristabella Duro, the top goal scorers in the conference, each with 15. And a 6-0 win over Houston. Lob over top. Tiernan finds Allie Ryan. Still Allie Ryan. Nothing there. Scholes fighting. Got the ball back. Steph Scholes. 1v1. Allie Ryan, good turn. Up top for Katkowski. Slides it on Foligno. Rutgers just not facing forward enough to make a move at goal. Tackle by Morash was perfect. Here comes Cooperis. Out wide for Rotherham. She has been nimble on the ball. Rotherham through. Katkowski can't hit it well. Spins out for a corner. Back to the bracket. Number 8 SMU. Rutgers' old friend. It was a nice physical game here at Ursack Field on October 13th. 3-0 win for the Mustangs over number 9 Temple. That in Orlando, Florida. SMU gets UCF today. Memphis gets Louisville. UConn, USF. Rutgers, Cincy. That's your quarterfinals. Away by Skrosky. Not far enough. Cooperis, lefty shot. What a save by Janos, who was completely blind to it.
That's a terrific save by Jess Janos, because when Cooperis hits that, and she strikes this really well from about 20 yards out, and it's low to the ground, and it comes through several bodies, Janos not able to see it, screened off, and if she did, it was really late. It gets down well, low to her right to keep it out, and then her teammates able to help out and clear the rebound. That's a terrific piece of goalkeeping.
Second save today for the former Passaic County Goalkeeper of the Year. One of the best keepers in this conference in goals against average, as well as shutouts. Looking for clean sheet number 7 today. Cincy pressuring much more effectively.
Yeah, high pressure. Cincinnati certainly pushed up the field when they're getting on Rutgers, not giving the Scarlet Knights that easy out, that easy possession through the midfield. Understanding that, you know, your season is on the line in this second 45 minutes. You got to go get a goal. And so far, fair play to Cincinnati. Come out in this second half, pressed Rutgers up the field, and been able to create some chances.
Line drive on the throw. Rutgers deals with it. Janos trying to be first there, and that's what Morash thought. Let it bounce. Greer will keep it in off the end line. Skrosky got to it for Rutgers. Nervy moments here for RU, leading by a goal.
Yeah, it certainly was. Morash saw Janos come off her line out of the corner of her eye and pulled up there. Can't do that if you're the defender. Have to deal with that, Maggie Morash.
Katkowski the win. Prager onto the ball. Ryan does well to keep it this way. Plenty of room left wing. Allie Ryan sees Steph Scholes but can't angle it.
Yeah, needed a better ball from Allie Ryan. The pass was on for Scholes out here to the left-hand side.
The play advantage.
Just sold her a little short.
Trish DiPaolo. Mentioned veterans in big spots. Foligno has the goal. DiPaolo has played well indeed. Here comes Aaron Smith, a freshman who will replace Maggie Morash after that little miscommunication.
Yeah, it's just one as a defender. You have to deal with that. Don't rely on the goalkeeper there. And what she saw was Janos out of the corner of her eye come off her line, and she hesitated. That can be a disaster if you do that. Just deal with it. Get it out of there.
Remember, if Rutgers does advance to the American Athletic Conference semifinals with a win today, you will hear from Rutgers head coach Glenn Crooks after the contest. Howard. That's an excellent win. Madison Tiernan. All sorts of ball. Finds Steph Scholes. And that knee had a little too much on the ball.
But that feels all sorts of good, too, when you step in like that and you win the ball and watch the player go flying head over heels.
Cooperis. Greer is wide open. Katie Greer to her right foot. Into Janos.
It's opened up, hasn't it, Danny? Going both ways. Some space there. Katie Greer elects to take the shot on for distance. You know what? I thought she had a better option onto the right-hand side. Settled for a drive from about 25 yards out and never got enough power on it to be a keeper of Janos' quality.
Janelle Foligno, her 8th goal of the year. That good for 4th in the American Athletic Conference. I checked that 9th in the American Athletic Conference. Steph Scholes 5th with 10 goals. On for Cincy, Mackenzie Reynolds, sophomore from Indiana, came in as a transfer from the University of Tennessee, alma mater of our producer-director today, Tim DeMartin. And Allie Ryan will come off, Rachel Cole on for Rutgers.
Yeah, I thought Rachel Cole had a terrific first half when she came.
Emily Ellsbrock will take the throw. Foligno first to it. Good work from Utley. You can tell RU knowing the 1-goal advantage means that Cincinnati is going to put all 11 forward, or at least 10 with the goalie staying back. Glenn Crooks knew this before the game.
You could see second half adjustment from Cincinnati pressing much higher up the pitch. They have more players in Rutgers' half of the field, making it difficult for the Scarlet Knights to get out, trying to win the ball back higher up the pitch and go into the attack.
I know a player you also really like, the freshman from South Brunswick, Jessica Puchalski, getting ready to check in, maybe for an insurance goal-scoring burst. RU needs to double this advantage so that these last 23-plus minutes are not so nervy. Elsbrock may have gotten away with an illegal throw-in. Didn't take it all the way back. Howard, the cross, away by Skrosky. Prager, left-footed clearance. Into Howard. Boy, what Glenn Crooks wouldn't do for one counter. A quick tally from a Scholes or a Foligno, or in this case, Rachel Cole.
The opportunity for the counter is going to be there as Cincinnati pushes players higher up the pitch, trying to win the ball back, knows it's chasing a goal. The space in behind will be there for Rutgers, whether it be Scholes, Foligno, Rachel Cole on the pitch right now to run in behind.
Scholes goes off, Puchalski on. Puchalski does have a pair of goals this year. Both have come in garbage time.
And with Puchalski, I wonder if Glenn Crooks just senses that right now. Get some fresh legs on there for 5 to 10 minutes here. Try and get her in behind if Cincinnati loses the ball. Sprint into those space that's been vacated.
Here is Puchalski, the excellent player out of South Brunswick, who won a club national title with PDA. Linesman says that rolls out. No late season burst needed for Rutgers this year to get off the bubble. They were there all the way pretty much after a very quick start. Last year they needed to go 4-0-1 down the stretch just to get off the bubble at 13-8-1. They may need today just to lock things up with win number 13, but a much crisper team this year at 13-4-2 if they win this afternoon. Step by Smith, throw in Cincy. We're midway through the second half of the American Athletic Conference quarterfinal. Danny Breslauer, Kyle Franco with you on RVision, presented by AT&T via ScarletKnights.com. And it's 1-0 Rutgers on Janelle Foligno's 13th minute tally.
That's got to be a foul right there. Cooper has just crushed Madison Tiernan in the center of the pitch.
Good slide tackle by Prager. Reynolds on the ground, and Janos has been very professional today. Down to get that great diving save to her right on Cooperis 10 minutes ago, on top of everything else.
It's really hard to explain how difficult of a save that is that Janos made, because Cooper's hit that shot pretty well, and that is slicing inside the far post, and it comes through about 2 or 3 bodies there, and Janos would have had to seen that really late and got down quick to make a terrific save.
Goal kick Rutgers. Maggie Morash will come on from Madison Tiernan at this stoppage. So Rutgers getting defensive here in the final 20. Kyle, what is your thought on that approach?
Well, you got to hang on to what you have here. And you also have to understand that Cincinnati is throwing players forward to try and get an equalizer. So there will be space in behind. So right now, this is certainly a defensive substitution by Glenn Crooks, bringing off an attacking-minded player in Madison Tiernan and bringing on a more defensive-minded player in Maggie Morash.
It's a veteran play by Skrosky. As soccer people know, that goal kick must leave the box before you touch it. But in order to sell the Cincinnati forward inside, she took a step into the box and let it roll on. So tough instinctually to know that.
You could always just go into the box and touch it, and then you have to take it again if you feel like you're in trouble.
Referee can, by discretion, award an indirect kick from that spot for the opposing team. So it's not a risk you really want to take.
Right, but certainly if the ball does not leave the 18-yard box, it's usually given as a re-kick.
Cole, throw in Cincy. It has been a lackluster offensive second half for RU. Horn blue for a substitution. They'll play on. Out wide, Rotherham. Atkinson's waiting to check in. Skrosky couldn't handle it. Settles for Reynolds. Oh, Skrosky handled it, and the official says not intentional.
It's a big let-off for Rutgers there, because Skrosky did handle that inside the box. Could have easily given that as a penalty. And you know, and Danny, for me, that probably is a penalty. I know it's unintentional, but the arm is away from the body. It bounces up. It helps her control the ball there. And for me, the referee should give a penalty. It's a big let-off for the Scarlet Knights.
Atkinson on for Wilson. Neil Stafford looking at Bruno Mazzo, wondering where his team's PK was. It was a PK off a handball for Cincy in overtime against Louisville that lost them the game.
Hold the ball right.
Cole falls down. Skrosky the header. Cincinnati has one defender back. It's one counter away from Rutgers doubling and maybe ending this thing. Janos the save as Rotheram runs into it.
It fell pretty nicely for Rotheram on her left foot. Janos again well positioned to make the save. But you're right, Danny, there is going to be a ton of space in behind if Cincinnati turns the ball over for Rutgers to run into on a counter.
RU 10-1 at home this year. 7-2-2 in games decided by a goal or less. They have not been to a conference semifinal since 2006. Looking to change that today. Katkowski's beaten by Megan Cravener. Out wide for Atkinson. Rutgers wins it back. Here's Brianne Reed. Katkowski hit it too hard, looking for Cole. Janelle Foligno has not left the pitch today. The workhorse for Rutgers has the goal, and she's on the ball. Foligno holds it up. Former U20 Canadian Player of the Year. Scored a goal in the Olympics. Playing for the Canadian national team. Cole. Atkinson wins it ahead to Rotheram. 2-on-4 for Cincy. The other one was Elsbrock, who had she waited behind Smith, may have had a chance on goal. Here is Smith. Brianne Reed. Down the line for Pachalski. Here is Smith. Postseason soccer you can feel in the final quarter hour, which is coming up. All the tension for Cincy looking for an equalizer, and for Rutgers chasing insurance. Rotheram. Atkinson. Left wing, DePaulo was down on all fours and then was pushed down by Atkinson.
Some tough tackles coming in right now. Trish DePaulo not happy with the referee.
And Bruno Mazzo has had enough of Trish DePaulo.
Yeah, she was on him right away. Thought Atkinson deliberately pulled her shirt.
The official has stopped the clock at 16:11, telling Rutgers they have to be quicker to these free kicks and throw-ins. Cincy actually outshooting Rutgers now 9-7.
Cincinnati's played well in the second half. Credit to them at halftime. Made the proper adjustments. Have come out and pressed Rutgers up the pitch. Made it difficult for the Scarlet Knights to get out and really had the better of the chances. Forced a great save out of Jess Janos, and in my opinion, were unlucky not to get a penalty.
Just one shot here in the second half for Rutgers. That from Steph Scholes, and it was very early. Off a pass from Madison Tiernan. Here's Rotheram. Again, a 2-on-3 for Cincy. Excellent movement by Rotheram to get free. Slides it through for Reynolds. The 1-2 is completed. Here's Rotheram again. Slide tackle Skrosky.
That was a terrific challenge by Erica Skrosky. Had to get it right and did. And then Rotheram comes in late there and just cleans out Katkowski.
That's from behind. Probably fortunate not to get yellowed. Bruno Mazzo has not opened up the book yet. And I think most referees are apprehensive to do so in the postseason.
Danny, I think the next one probably will be on either side. It's gotten a little chippy at times, some physical play from both teams. My guess would be next challenge like that from either side, that player goes in the book.
Smith. Erin Smith to her right foot, fires away, and Natalie Smith's first save of the second half. Smith, a save on Smith. Erin for Rutgers, Natalie for Cincy. Bearcats went 500 in conference play, 4-4-1. Rutgers just a bit better at 5-3-1. Shows you how tight the conference was all year. Then Rutgers was the 3 seed and Cincy the 6. Handball on Cole. Janelle Foligno will get warned for delay of game. Allie Ryan, Madison Tiernan waiting to check in for Rutgers. Kelly Latimer for Cincinnati. If RU holds on, you'll hear from Glenn Crooks, the head coach, after possibly career win number 200.
Good job, Aaron. Let's go. Get up.
Allie, same thing you do. When you get it, play on the flank, Al. When you get it,
Ball got stuck underneath the feet of Ellsbrock.
down the line.
Howard had it knocked away from her. Here comes Prager.
That's us. That's
Good
us.
tackling both ways. Cincinnati throw. Here come the subs. Add Scholes to the fray along with Ryan and Tiernan. Who comes off? Prager, Cole, and Pacholski.
It's back to the starting 11 with Aaron Smith in.
So it's Ryan, Foligno, and Scholes. Tiernan kind of sitting behind them right now. They need her strength and back as Cincy makes this push. Brianne Reed along the wing. Ryan into Tiernan in the middle of the field. Shouldered off the ball. You don't see that often. It's Reynolds. Check that Cooperis. Knocks her to the turf. 13 minutes to go. It was that minute that Rutgers got their goal. 13th minute of the game. Janelle Foligno a tally. That fired wide.
Hey, awareness. Good job, Allie. Awareness. Go where there's room. Find a run.
Jess Janos has kept all the goal kicks on the ground since her one got caught up in the wind.
Yeah, and if I was Cincinnati, I would get up at the top of the box at the 18 and make her try and hit that long.
The New Jersey Player of the Year, Madison Tiernan. Skrosky, a dangerous little chip in the middle of the field. Katkowski switches brilliantly. Here comes Erin Smith along the left wing. Scholes turning 1-2 with Smith. And a foul. Rutgers will keep it this end.
Yeah, it's good work by Steph Scholes with her back to goal. Just a nice little dink back into the path of Aaron Smith. Once it doesn't come off, advantage played, bring it back. Good refereeing.
Brianne Reed will take the set piece. Rutgers will bunch in the box. Scholes, Tiernan, and Ryan far post. Foligno stays near side. Reed looping ball. Intended for Ryan. Away by Atkinson. DePaulo first there nicely. Here's the direct nature of Cincinnati. They'll clear their zone, Kyle. Janos with her feet across the way, and Ellsbrock was there as she takes it away. Skrosky, the challenge, a PK. And it comes with 11:15 to go in the 79th minute.
Oh, it's sloppy from Rutgers, and this for me is on the goalkeeper because she puts Erica Skrosky in a tough position here. After a poor first touch, she gets it out to Skrosky, then the ball gets turned over, and Cincinnati is through on goal. Skrosky slides in, no real arguments there. Takes down the player, and it's a pretty clear penalty.
Well, there is some playoff fate at hand here. It's Jay Atkinson stepping up to take it. The junior defender from Mason, Ohio, against Rutgers veteran keeper Jess Janos, dancing on the goal line. 11:15 to go in regulation. Bruno Mazzo blows the whistle. Atkinson, left-footed shot is in. And all of a sudden, Cincinnati on one opportunity forward has things tied at 1.
It's nothing less than Cincinnati deserves for this second half. The Bearcats have come in and pushed forward, understanding they needed a goal to get level. and fair play to them. They've deserved that goal. Probably should have had a penalty early when Skrosky handled in the box. And this time Atkinson steps up, and how cool was that? Just dinks it into the far corner. Had Janos going the wrong way. But the Scarlet Knights really their own worst enemy for that penalty. Some sloppy play in the back. I thought Janos really put Skrosky in a tough position with a poor pass. And then once Erica gave it away, she was always in trouble and ended up trying to track back to win it back and commits the foul inside the box.
Well, Glenn Crooks knew all hell would break loose if Rutgers had just one goal ahead of Cincy. They would push for an equalizer. They get it on a PK in the 79th. And now Rutgers has 11 minutes to go get a winner. Same for Cincinnati, or we're bound for overtime. And who knows, maybe PKs as well. Scholes the turn off the feed from Tiernan. Was that deflected? No, goal kick.
Well, you want to see a good immediate response here for the Scarlet Knights, and they do get forward. Scholes, it's on her unfavored right foot. Ends up wide, but when's the best time to score a goal? Is after Cincinnati just conceded. Sometimes that's when you just drop your guard a little bit, and Rutgers can try and sneak back in there and get a winner.
How the complexion has changed. DePaulo looping for Foligno. Here is Rutgers' goal scorer. So now Foligno to the end line. She's double teamed. Still Foligno. Goal kick. Did not deflect it off a defender. Foligno throws the ball down to argue with the linesman. And the Bearcats have all the momentum here in the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals. You said that Cincinnati deserved a better scoreline. The handball potentially by Skrosky. They've had the better of it in the second half.
From the way they've played in the second half, certainly deserved an equalizer, and just rewards to the Bearcats. They've got it.
That said, Rutgers probably deserves more than one.
Yeah, and Rutgers could have easily had more than one in the first half.
Tiernan. Smith muscled off the ball. Bearcats will do a lot of that here in the final 10.
You know, it's funny how this game works. Rutgers could have been 2-3-0 up, and a couple chances don't go your way, and it stays 1-0, and all of a sudden Cincinnati's back in the game.
Rotherham on DePaulo. Rotherham, goal kick. Rutgers has played 2 overtime games this year. Neither has ended in a win or loss. Both ended in ties against William and Mary in the tournament in Charlottesville, Virginia. That way back on September 8th. The other on the second to last conference weekend of the year in Tampa against USF. That a game Rutgers led 2-1 very late. Similar situation to this, except the Bulls scored in the run of play. Cincy getting a PK. 8:30 left in regulation, still 1-1. The goals were separated by 66 minutes of gameplay. Reed, maybe unintentionally backheeling that to Smith. Across the way they go. This time, a little less of an issue to get there. Intercept by Katie Greer. Poorly taken on the pass.
It was. Cincinnati was in a good position there with Greer on the left-hand side. But a poor pass.
Off of Smith. Bearcats throw. Substitution is Elsbrock. Dangerous goal scorer.
Now, I'll tell you what, Cincinnati's certainly feeling it right now. On top for most of this second half, have the equalizer, momentum at their back. Bearcats trying to grab a late winner here. Rutgers holding on a little bit.
Let's remind you the postseason overtime rules. If we go the next 7:30 without a goal, we'll play 2 10-minute extra time periods, golden goal. That means 1 goal for either side would send them into the conference tournament semifinals. If we end those 2 10-minute sessions without a goal, we go penalty kicks, best of 5. And that may be the cruelest way to end an event in sports.
Yeah, it really is, but until someone finds me a fairer way to end the game, it's the best of it's the best of a bad situation.
Since he has 5 back now, much different than before. Foligno on for Katkowski. Haley Katkowski just behind Steph Scholes.
Perhaps a necessary evil is the best way to describe a penalty shootout, but we're not there yet.
Cincy's overtimes this year, they have 3 of them. They defeated Memphis in double overtime, 3-2, back on September 29th. They drew UCF, of course, for that only result against the Knights, 1-1 on October 11th. And, of course, we've mentioned it a few times today, the 5-4 OT loss to Louisville on the final day of the regular season. So 1-1-1. That was on a handball PK. Foligno. Katkowski with 6 minutes to go in regulation. Allie Ryan. That should be a Rutgers foul. No call. Foligno plays through for Katkowski as Ryan was well away from that ball and almost went in for a challenge herself. Well, Kyle, I feel somewhat responsible for this. I believe I texted you yesterday and says, "What, are you prepared for 110?"
Curse of the commentator.
We saw nearly that against UConn as the Huskies were able to get a late goal from Gabrielle Charno in the 80th minute to defeat Rutgers in their second to last home game of the regular season. The win by Skrosky comes down toward Reed. Instead, Cincy is on here. Which way? Goal kick, says Bruno Mazzo. Cincinnati's bench incredulous.
Yeah, again, it's from Rutgers not being able to get out of its own half. And the last touch did come off the Cincinnati player. It was Greer again who was in the middle of things.
Atkinson's penalty kick in the 79th was her 5th goal of the year, and it was Cincinnati's first penalty kick of the season. Opponents have gone 5 for 5 against them.
It was a good time to get your first penalty kick, and credit Jay Atkinson stepped up there, and how nice was that? Just dinked it into the corner and sent Janos the wrong way.
If you're wondering if we get toward a shootout, what Rutgers' history is, Janos has saved 1 this year, 2 for 3 for opponents. Rutgers has taken 4, all by Janelle Foligno. She is 3 for 4. Not a lot of penalty kick experience on the Rutgers side. That over the bar. It was really, really dicey there on the chip from the back line. It was taken by Taylor Nelson. Tori Prager on for Allie Ryan. Bench up on the line. It's the Rutgers bench realizing that they had a lead for 66 minutes until that Atkinson PK. Skrosky committed the foul, but it was Janos' pass that put the defense in some tough shape. 3 minutes, Kyle, and you have to figure both teams are playing for overtime at this point.
Yeah, again, same thing in the first half, right? Don't concede in the last 3 minutes. I think certainly Rutgers, the way the second half is going, would take the overtime here and just get that break in between to regroup.
Should be a delay of game warning on the Bearcats. Janelle Foligno had one earlier for Rutgers, so both teams are warned, Kyle. That could come into play in an overtime session.
Yeah, sure, you get another one like that and a yellow card for somebody.
Are you looking for its first conference semifinal appearance since 2006? It looked almost a lock half hour ago when RU hit the crossbar with Rachel Cole. Could have made it 2-0 and probably would have ended proceedings.
Yeah, a second goal for Rutgers there totally changes everything. When it's still 1-0, Cincinnati can still sit back and soak up some of that pressure in the first half. And then certainly give credit to the Bearcats coaching staff at halftime for making the proper adjustment to get up the pitch and press Rutgers higher. Scarlet Knights never really adjusted to it in this second 45 minutes and have been under pressure for large portions of it.
And obviously this doesn't matter right now. And that's a foul on Katkowski. This doesn't matter because all Rutgers wants to do is advance, but remember, ties don't really help your RPI. And if you go to PKs, it's a tie.
Certainly it goes into the record book as a draw.
So something to consider as we look almost assured of golden goal extra time. Free kick for Howard with 1:30 to go in regulation for Cincinnati. Clear by Tiernan. Foligno lets it roll through. Tiernan back for Scholes. Madison Tiernan has the right wing. Rothram there with her. Away by DePaulo. Up ahead to Scholes. Foul on Madison Tiernan. With 1 minute to go here in regulation. 1 goal apiece. Janelle Foligno in the 13th for Rutgers. Jay Atkinson a PK in the 79th for Cincy. Prager coming in, the windmill lefty kick. Ooh. And she takes a bump from Scholes. Brianne Reed knocked down by Cooperis. Physicality in the final minute.
Rutgers players are crunching each other.
This will be the last push for either side in regulation. Everyone goes back for Cincy. Scholes slips down. 20 seconds. DePaulo can serve. Did it against Villanova at the end of regulation. DePaulo first there with 10 seconds. Still Trish DePaulo. A lefty chip will go wide. It's the postseason, Kyle. Let's have more of it.
Well, it's been tense this entire second half. Cincinnati's got the equalizer. I think Glenn Crook's happy to see the horn go. He needs to get his team together and regroup here heading into the overtime.
5-minute break. Overtime we go. 79th minute PK by Jay Atkinson does the honors. The 3-seed Rutgers, the 6-seed Cincy equal at 1 after 90 minutes. Golden goal extra time next on RVision, presented by AT&T.
And see who moves on to the AAC semifinals in Orlando. Your attention please, ladies and gentlemen, Ronald M. Yersack Field is a smoke-free facility, so fans please do not smoke. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, your ticket is only valid for 1 entry into the stadium. Re-entry is not permitted at Ronald M. Yersack Field. We thank you fans for your cooperation. Checking elsewhere in the American Athletic Conference, UCF defeated SMU 3-0. And USF is ahead of UConn 3-1. Louisville and Memphis will play later on in the day.
A 79th minute penalty kick equalized for Cincinnati through Jay Atkinson. Answering Janelle Foligno's 13th minute goal for Rutgers. And in the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals, we go to golden goal overtime, the first of two 10-minute periods here at Yersack Field on Rutgers Busch campus. Danny Breslauer, Kyle Franco here with you on RVision, presented by AT&T via ScarletKnights.com. Kyle, two 10-minute golden goal extra time sessions, followed by penalty kicks if need be. Here we go.
Yeah, well, postseason soccer and in the overtime, and it's winner take all. And the loser goes home, so right now it doesn't matter how it gets into the back of the net sometime in this next 20 minutes, just as long as it gets there. And you're looking and saying, can you get that moment of inspiration, that little bit of brilliance? Somebody just produced that magic in the final third to take the game and seize control and win and send your team to the semifinals.
Rutgers clad in their road reds at home today for a special blackout for the fans where Rutgers wears scarlet red. 10 minutes up for OT number 1, and there has not been much ambition on Rutgers offense since the opening half. There's Jess Janos, RU's keeper, and who knows, maybe in 20 minutes time she's staring down a penalty kick
like
taker.
You said, Danny, 20 minutes still to go, and if you're Rutgers, you were just caught in your own half in that second half and couldn't get out. And credit to Cincinnati, who came in and really pressed high up the pitch and made life difficult for the Scarlet Knights. But, you know, right now, 20 minutes to go. Nobody wants to go to penalties. Might as well go for it.
Skrosky, Cincy needs to go for it for their season.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how Cincy plays this. Remember, they sat back in the first half and allowed Rutgers to possess the ball in the midfield, soak up the pressure. Then the second half really got into Rutgers' half, wouldn't let the Scarlet Knights down, and in the end were rewarded with a goal. If I was Cincinnati, I would continue to press high up the pitch. You had all the momentum in the second half. You've got to win the game for your season to continue. You've got to go for it.
Rutgers on the NCAA bubble. Some believe already in at RPI 35 today would certainly help. Remember, a draw at the end of 2 overtimes would be a tie in the book for Rutgers, but their only concern right now is getting to the conference semifinals, still having that automatic bid on the line. Foligno. Rutgers leader in so many respects. Tried to chip through for Ryan. I think sometimes in these situations, Glenn Crooks, Mike O'Neill, Megan Ryan would prefer Foligno just go 1v1, take someone on.
Yeah, sure, particularly if she's going to have space in front of her. Run at the center backs.
Here's Rotherham along the right, a left wing. The tackle was perfectly timed by DePaulo. Rotherham just bounced off of her. Oh, and Smith whiffed. Did it touch her? It did. Corner kick.
Yeah, again, that's similar to the goal, to the play that led to the Rutgers goal in the first half when the Cincinnati defender didn't deal with a ball like that. Aaron Smith, you've got to get it away there. Instead, she ends up whiffing, actually gets a touch on it, and Cincinnati gets a corner.
Getting a little bit cooler at Yersack Field as the wind picks up. We drop into the 40s. And inside, 8 minutes to go, overtime number 1 in the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals. The goal scorer, Atkinson, will take the corner. Toward Janos, who has to deal with it in a difficult situation. Corner again.
Yeah, you're right. She did have to deal with that. That may have been curling inside that near post there. And Janos looks like she may have picked up a knock there. Came across quickly, and it was an awkward save. It may have come off her shoulder.
I think she landed on her knee as she came to the near post. See her stretching it out there with Bruno Mazzo. DiPaolo is sitting along the far post. And on the near post is Allie Ryan. So not a ton of height there if something were to curl in top shelf. Atkinson to the top of the box. The volley by Cooperis. Half style. A third straight corner.
Again, good idea from Cincinnati. Variation on the corner. Cooperis comes to the top of the box, and she was free there unmarked. Didn't catch it clean. Tough skill, though, to take that straight out of the air on the volley.
Since he goes to the opposite corner. Taking it will be Taylor Nelson. Higher arcing ball this time. Skrosky got ahead to it. Cooperis flicks it into the box. And boy, oh boy, far post, there was a great opportunity there for Katie Greer.
Oh, Katie Greer's been in the middle of everything, hasn't she, for Cincinnati? Again, it's Cooperis hanging at the top of the 18-yard box, collecting the scraps, just hammers it back in, and Katie Greer got a flick on it and nearly was able to steer that into the far post.
Brianne Reed wins the header. Good meaty challenge. Rotherham along the left wing. Right-footed cross, settles in for Cooperis. Smith gets there. Almost 4 minutes into OT number 1. Rutgers and Cincinnati in the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals. Cincy must win to extend its season. Rutgers trying to ensure an NCAA at-large with a win today. Smith clears it. Wind holds it up if Foligno can win the 50-50. But remember, she has played 94 minutes so far. Foul on Tiernan.
Now it's so difficult to keep giving away set pieces like this, putting your defense under pressure. Again, this looks exactly like this last 30 minutes of the second half. Rutgers not able to get out of its own end. We just saw Cincinnati with 3 consecutive corner kicks, now a dangerous set piece.
Nelson will be the one to play it in. Looping toward Janos, who punches it up in the air. Rotherham beaten by Reed. That was as good as it gets from the freshman from Colorado.
Again, it's good goalkeeping by Jess Janos there because she gets pinned on her line and gets a strong punch on that.
Melnick toward the box. Skrosky, who committed the PK foul, will try to clear. Instead, Rotherham trying to go through 3 defenders, and DiPaolo knocks it away. And just like Janos was relatively bored for the first 30 minutes of the game, it's Neil Stafford's goalie now, Natalie Smith, that has not been tested.
Part of the problem for Rutgers has been they haven't been able to get the ball to Foligno in dangerous positions. Even trying to get her the ball here where she can hold it up as the center forward and bring other players in has been difficult throughout the second half and the start of this overtime. That's why the Scarlet Knights can't get out. They can't put any passes together. They can't find the center forward. They can't find the out ball.
Allie Ryan, the injured Scarlet Knight.
Looks like she's holding her left leg there. Might have picked up a knock in that challenge there.
Glenn Crook says he'd prefer to have Allie Ryan come off and send Rachel Cole on.
Yeah, I think it's better to have a body in there that's 100% opposed to one that just picked up a knock and might not be able to go full tilt right away. Well, she looks like she's okay, ran that off pretty well.
Trainer Rob Piacentini will walk her to the other side of the bench for treatment. Throw in for Cincinnati, and immediately the substitute Cole makes an impact. 4:30 to go, first overtime. Kyle, as you know, I've been doing games here at Yersack Field for a long time between Night Vision, RVision, WRSU, you name it. And from memory, it has been 7 years since I have called a penalty kick shootout on this surface, but we still have a long ways to go until then. As Scholes is on the ball, out wide for Cole. And that PK shootout was in the first round of the 06 NCAA men's tournament. Rutgers and Rhode Island. Brianne Reed cut it back. Chips it in. Foligno's in behind. Smith is there. Scholes is pushed down to no call.
That's been the best chance in a long time for Rutgers, and it's Brianne Reed with the ball in. Foligno, good run, stayed on side. And how about credit Natalie Smith, quick off her line and wins the ball. And she had to for Cincinnati, because if Smith doesn't come off her line there, Foligno sticks it into the back of the net, and Rutgers is in the semifinals.
Natalie Smith did well to beat Foligno. Cooperis spills down. Reed clears for Tiernan. Holds the ball up, keeps it in. Here goes Madison Tiernan. Rutgers has 4-on-4. Foligno's onside. Collects it. Left-footed cross looking for Rachel Cole, far post, but she had not made the run early enough.
Yeah, Foligno just expecting Rachel Cole to have made that run to the far post. Cole didn't see it, and the ball ends up harmlessly into the hands of the goalkeeper.
2:30 to go, OT number 1. 10 minutes of golden goal, double overtime play to follow.
But you can see how dangerous Rutgers can be once it does beat the pressure there. Madison Tiernan makes a nice move on this near side touchline, is able to escape the pressure. Then there's the space that's in behind that the Scarlet Knights can exploit because the Bearcats are pushing players forward.
98th minute. DePaulo down the wing for Foligno. Janelle Foligno crossing right-footed, maybe a bit too early. And Tiernan pushing from behind.
Again, it was good work from Foligno down that right-hand side. Took a player on 1v1, was able to beat her, got to the end line, and the cross in. But again, Rutgers not able to get enough players up in support with her inside the box.
'09 NCAA tournament. Rutgers played a PK shootout here against Oklahoma State, which was a top 5 team in the country at the time. Rutgers had knocked off Penn State in double overtime the game before to set that game up, and then beat Oklahoma State in the second round in PKs before losing in the Sweet 16 to Stanford. That's 4 years ago. It's been a long time. Still 11 minutes to go there. 1 here in this first overtime. Scholes to the box. Steph Scholes, saved by Smith with her legs. Katkowski pushed down. Rutgers spilling forward here with 2 great chances.
And all of a sudden, Rutgers has sprung to life.
Scholes is onside. Morash leaves back for Foligno. 30 seconds. Foligno over the bar. And that should do it for OT number 1.
Well, it's good from Rutgers there because they've struggled to get out of their own half for most of this second half and overtime, but all of a sudden, last 5 minutes of the overtime, much better from the Scarlet Knights. Steph Scholes shows her ability with the ball at her feet. And, you know, I was just watching there. Elsbrock was working back defensively. I was just waiting for her to try and step in and make a challenge there. Scholes goes down. That's a penalty. Instead, good job by Elsbrock not to lunge in. And Steph Scholes gets a right-footed shot away. Give Natalie Smith credit because she's made 2 terrific saves for the Bearcats in that overtime.
Both sides with chances in OT number 1. To the second overtime we go at the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals in Piscataway. Rutgers 1, Cincinnati 1 on RVision, presented by AT&T. Second overtime here at Ursack Field in Piscataway. 1-1 between Rutgers and Cincinnati. Kyle, it was a 13th minute goal by Janelle Foligno. 66 minutes later, in the 79th minute, a PK by Jay Atkinson for Cincinnati equalized.
10 minutes left for somebody to find a winner before we go to penalty kicks. You know, will it be a moment of brilliance, somebody producing some magic, or will it be a mistake? It's postseason soccer, and that's really all it's about. It takes just that one moment to get a winner. Trip to the semifinals on the line for both Rutgers and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati was able to do it through a penalty kick off an Erica Skrosky trip up that led to Jay Atkinson's PK. It was Rutgers and Oklahoma State in the 2009 NCAA tournament that played to a PK shootout. We were not here for that one. There have not been many PK shootouts on this surface for either the women's or men's team. Mentioned the men's side in the 06 NCAA tournament had back-to-back PK shootouts, one in the Big East semifinals against West Virginia here, and then against Rhode Island in the NCAA first round.
Oh, it's certainly the most dramatic way to end a sporting event. You know, is it necessarily the fairest way to end a contest? I don't know, but until you find a better solution, you know, because you can't run around till somebody drops dead to break the tie. It's a necessary evil for me.
Reynolds dispossessed by Skrosky. We play in the 102nd minute. Cincinnati has been excellent defensively since conceding off the corner kick. Tori Prager had it flicked on by Allie Ryan on the third ball. And Janelle Foligno put it home. Both Steph Scholes, Brianne Reed have had excellent chances for Rutgers. Scholes missing wide, Reed hitting a couple legs in front. Cooperis. It's been a long time since Cincinnati has been to a conference semifinal. Went to the quarters in 08 in the Big East. Foligno in behind off the looper from DePaulo. Just doesn't have that kick right now after playing over 100 minutes. Tiernan looking for Cole. Beaten to the ball. 7:45 to go. Second overtime. Penalty kicks will follow. Best of 5. If we don't get any goal scoring here. Very interested to see who the 5 would be for Rutgers. Kyle, if you had to make your predictions, I'll give you mine first. Foligno, Scholes, Tiernan.
Skrosky and DePaulo.
Skrosky and DePaulo. Sounds about right. Maybe an alternate Katkowski. Not much of a shooter, but someone I'm sure you trust to be cool at least. 7 minutes from that. No Rutgers game has ended in double overtime this year. Cincinnati has a double OT win this year. That's not a foul.
Did he not blow the whistle there?
He did not.
That's unbelievable. That should have been a foul and a yellow card on Christy Howard. She deliberately pulled Janelle Foligno back there.
Ellsbrock turning the corner on Smith. 6:40 to go, second OT.
Frank.
Brianne Reed. Good defense. Linesman keeps his flag down. Tori Prager knocks it down the wing.
Keep him off the freaking field. Stay over there. Get him off the field.
Tiernan. Cooperis. Rotherham. Cincinnati building. Good D from DePaulo. Rutgers can counter. Lots of space for Tiernan. A little bit too far out in front for the freshman. Cincinnati will do the same. Here's Rotherham. Ping pongs around and finds the foot of Megan Cravener. It's been almost a full game's worth of minutes as we play here in the 105th since Rutgers scored. And that RU goal is 92 minutes ago. So it is a full amount of minutes.
It feels like it's a full game ago. No, tired minds, tired legs right now too.
And Jay Atkinson, Cincinnati's goal scorer in the 79th by PK, just checked in. I'd imagine so that she can take a PK in the shootout. You must be on the field. Tiernan, 3-on-3 for Rutgers. Playing through, looking for Foligno. Oh, Scholes there for an intercept. Steph Scholes. Knocked away from her. Good D from Utley. If we do hear from Glenn Crooks, if RU can win this, he'll be exhausted. Emotionally taxing game. Rutgers throw.
It really has been both teams pouring everything they got into this.
UCF, the number 1 seed, a 3-0 winner over SMU today. USF, a 3-1 lead on UConn second half. So it looks like the 4 seed Huskies will go down at home. Tough result for UConn, which may have needed that to make the NCAAs. Here's Prager. Through ball looking for Scholes. Louisville and Memphis will play at 4:30 in about an hour to determine which team, the winner of this, will play in the semifinals Friday night in Orlando. 350 from penalty kicks. Foligno. Cooperis. 3-on-3 for Cincy if they move quickly. They don't have much in terms of linked passing to speak of. Prager.
Yeah, just to sense Cincy's a little bit tired right now too. Expanded so much energy trying to get back into this game. Might be some fatigue setting in the Bearcat legs.
13 shots for Cincinnati, and maybe our first card, Katie Cooperis. Minute number 1:07.
And there you go, just turns the ball over in there, and Brianne Reed gets a run on her. Coming out of the back, and Cooperis a little slow to get over, goes to ground and knocks Reed over. That's a pretty simple decision for the referee, foul and a yellow card.
Cincinnati yellow card.
Yellow comes in the 107th minute on Cooperis, the first of our summary. Foligno's goal in the 13th. Atkinson's in the 79th, excuse me. The only goals for either side today. 13 shots for Cincy, 11 for Rutgers, 12 combined corners, 7 of them for Cincy. 6 saves for Rutgers' Jess Janos, 3 for Cincy's Natalie Smith. The play advantage. Rutgers recovers well. Atkinson flicked it on. Skrosky clears. A lot of minutes on the legs of Erica Skrosky this year. We know she was tired down the stretch. Coming into the game, 1,588 minutes. This a flip throw opportunity for Brianne Reed in the final 2:30 of the second overtime. Maybe Rutgers' final opportunity in the run of play. Great throw in from Reed, her best today. Settles down in the box. Prager can't win the header. Now Rutgers must get back. They have numbers here. Katkowski up ahead, Foligno flicked it on looking for Scholes.
Danny, what was interesting, I was just looking down at the Cincinnati sideline, and the backup goalkeeper, Christina Utley, was warming up like she might be coming in if they went to a penalty shootout. I don't know if that was she was just trying to stay loose just in case, but that would be an interesting decision if they were to switch the goalkeepers for the penalty shootout.
Well, don't you have to get on the field first in the final 120?
I thought you did, but
I think you do.
Again.
Here we go. Cole off the feed from Foligno. Maybe a moot point. Cole will chip it on the top of the netting. Oh, just off her line with Smith.
Oh, it's a wonderful idea by Rachel Cole, and it's an exquisite bit of skill, too. Just gets her head up and realizes that Natalie Smith is wandering off her goal line. It goes for the chip, and 6 inches lower, and Rutgers is in the semifinal.
What a way that would have been to end it as we enter the 110th minute. We are 40 seconds from penalty kicks at Yersack Field for the first time in years. Katkowski. Cole. Still Cole. 20 seconds. Rachel Cole! In the 110th! The sophomore is the hero! Rutgers to the conference semis.
Stunning. That is simply stunning from Rachel Cole. She turned every which way, looking for just that yard of space to get it onto her left foot and get a shot in, and then she hits an absolute laser beam into the corner over the fingertips of the outstretched Smith. What a tremendous hit by Rachel Cole to send Rutgers to the semifinals. Talk about dramatic ending. Rachel Cole steps up and delivers a semifinal berth for the Scarlet Knights and perhaps an NCAA tournament at large berth should they not win the conference tournament.
Glenn Crook's 200th career win. Rutgers' first conference semi since 2006. Rachel Cole's second goal of the year. What a strike with 17 seconds left in the 110th minute. No PKs needed. Glenn Crooks to follow on RVision, presented by AT&T.
In the American Athletic Conference semifinals, Friday, November 8th in Orlando, Florida. And with the victory, Coach Glenn Crooks has secured his 200th win in his career. Ladies and gentlemen, Rutgers Soccer would like to extend a very heartfelt thank you to every fan that has come out throughout the season to support your Rutgers Scarlet Knights women's soccer program. We hope that you will join us next season as the Rutgers Scarlet Knights compete in the Big Ten Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check www.scarletknights.com.
As good of a finish as you can get in the American Athletic Conference quarterfinals. A 2-1 win for Rutgers with 17 seconds left to go in double overtime. Here's Rachel Cole, the game-winning goal scorer. So certainly the first question is, you're parallel to the goal. What are you thinking there in turning?
You know, I was dribbling the ball. I was dribbling a little too much, and I was about to pass it off. And I said, you know what, why not go for it? And I went in, so ecstatic.
You had a couple of great opportunities in this game. The one in the first half that hits the crossbar, and then just about a minute before your game-winning goal, the chip that settles on the top of the net.
Yeah.
What's your mentality from distance? You had a great goal earlier this year as well against Bryant.
You know, I just think if you don't take the shots, they're not going to go in. So we've been talking about just trying to get those shots off. So that was in the back of my head, and tried to get it off.
First conference semifinal for the program since 2006 when your assistant coach Megan Ryan was a captain here. What does that mean for this program?
You know, we just all been working really, really hard. We really, really wanted it, and there's nothing better than a win. So,
Rachel, congratulations on the result.
Thank you.
Now joined by Glenn Crooks, the head coach of the Scarlet Knights. And Glenn, I mean, that's as good as it gets for an ending here in college soccer. 17 seconds left to go in double overtime. How about the overall play of your squad?
Well, first, the reason Rachel is on the field, you know, in that part of the game is that she is a goal scorer, and we know that. And the one thing we've said to the whole group is we need some more effective scoring and shooting from the outside, and Rachel brings that to us. So I'm very happy for her because, you know, at times it's been a little bit of a struggle, and but in a big moment she came through. So obviously 17 seconds left in the second overtime. The only one I can remember, and it was a regular game, Carly scored with 8 seconds left in the second overtime up at Syracuse. So it's a thrilling finish. Second half was a bit of a struggle. I really enjoyed the first half, and but we managed to hang on and stick together, which has been our credo all year. And the opportunity to go to the Final Four of the tournament is big.
And I know certainly RPI-wise, probably a huge win as well for you, because a draw there, you go to PKs, it ends up in a draw in your RPI column. And moving on here, your defense, tired legs late in the game. They stand pat. How about the keeper behind them, Jess Janos? A couple blind saves there late in the second half.
Yeah, I probably didn't have a good view on a couple of them, but Jess came up big, as she has all season. You know, this is, you know, every game from here on could be her last, along with Janelle, Trish, and Maria. So, you know, there's you can tell with all of them, there's a little extra energy.
110 minutes has kind of been the thing at your Sac Field the past few years, and playing a lot of overtime games. That mentality here late in contest to go push for that final goal, how'd you keep everyone focused there after giving up the 79th minute PK?
Well, the thing is I think the character of a team really is shown through how they react to adversity, and certainly, you know, giving up a tying goal at that moment of the game in such a big match is, you know, that could have a serious effect. But, you know, I think that shows our character. We've been in those situations before this year, and, you know, we grow with every training session and every game, and this is another one of those.
Louisville or Memphis next. You'll know in about 2.5 hours who that is. Coach, good luck in Orlando Friday night.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it.
That's Glenn Crooks, the head coach of the Scarlet Knights. Are you on 13 wins now as they go to the American Athletic Conference semifinals? Thanks to send out to our entire RVision crew, for our producer director today, that being Tim DeMartin, and for Kyle Franco, and for our production director, Colin Osborne, I'm Danny Breslauer. Saying so long from your Sac Field. Rutgers, a brilliant 2-1 win in double overtime in the AAC quarterfinals.